So
Yeah.
your grandson's staying there? You have family hanging out or?
Yeah. My daughter and her husband and the two kids. So we're all living together here for
Oh,
since April, I think.
wow. That's, you know what? That's really nice. So your grandson's staying there?
Yeah, all of us, all of them are staying here. So
That
it's
is
it's
awesome.
been it's been interesting. It was really hard in the beginning. I mean, that's not saying hard like in terribly. It's just, getting used to each other and the kids have their ways and stuff and trying to trying to help with that. So,
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, my kids lived with us for years.
yeah.
You know, my uh daughter
Mhm.
was my youngest granddaughter just turned 8 and they moved out right before she was born. So so they were here for quite a long time.
Yeah.
But it's really weird not having the people here
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
much
I get
as
it.
no, I love having them around. And
Oh, yeah.
I
Me
think,
too.
that, I mean, that's how we are a communal species.
Mhm.
We're not meant to live alone. And I think
Yeah.
the way our culture and society has gone into making people, think, oh, when you reach a certain age, you have to leave your home, and
Mhm.
you shouldn't be living at home with your mom and dad when you have kids. And you know, my grandma lived with us. Our grandparents lived with us,
Yeah.
and they helped out with everything.
Yeah.
So, and I can't imagine, and my mom lived with us when my kids were little.
Yeah.
They had always uh, that connection.
Right.
And I think, and also there was always somebody trustworthy. I found out later, my daughter went to my mom about a bunch of stuff. My gosh, if I had known about it, I'd been losing my mind. But, she, she trusted grandma and she went and talked to grandma about,
Yeah.
things when you're in her teenage years
Mhm.
that were really important
Yeah.
uh for her to have that connection,
Somebody. And
so
somebody that
somebody
wants.
who
Yeah.
had some wisdom about him and who loved him. So
Right.
yeah, so
Oh no. Now when the decision came, obviously there was no decision to be made. It was like, of course, come on over.
yeah,
But in talking to Jorge about it, it was like, you know what? It's an opportunity to make a stronger connection, stronger bonds with the kids, with my daughter. She moved out when she was 18, her choice,
yeah,
her choice. Um, so I think she missed out on a lot
yeah.
growing up. And it was really sweet on my birthday card, what she wrote that she was really um, happy here and that she really loved that we were creating stronger bonds.
I love that. That's so
Yeah.
sweet.
So yeah, to
Yeah,
me, it's like and Jorge knows to me, my kids are first than anything else. They're my first thing that I put ahead of even myself. I know that, you take care of yourself. Yeah, I do. But when it comes to helping them, if I can, if I'm not hands tied to, that I will definitely help them out and do whatever I can. So, yeah.
yep,
So it's
yeah,
it's been good. It's been fun and a lot of learning for all of us. I think everybody is learning. Um, and it's great. Like to me, it's like our Hispanic um, culture. You always lived with your grandmother. I mean, I lived with my grandma, my grandpa in Mexico anyway, and having them around was like, yeah, no big deal. And you living at home until you got married, and you could get married at 19 or you could get married at 30 and you're still at home.
Yeah.
male or female. They never moved out unless they went to college, right? And so they do, but then they go back home. They don't they don't just, not all of them, let's just say. There's some people that do. Now I don't know, but back in my time,
Yeah.
graduated and they went back home until they got married because you couldn't live by yourself.
Yeah. And that's what, my granddaughter, my daughter's daughter, she has a daughter of her own now. So we got the generations going on here.
Mhm.
And her little Delilah, she just turned 5.
Mhm.
And so and her daddy is dead. My granddaughter's boyfriend was killed in an accident before Delilah was born.
Yeah.
But they're still, their family. And uh so she's Delilah Garcia. So we have all these Garcias. And then my daughter is married with Jaime Ortega. So we have all this big old Ortega clan. And it's just amazing and wonderful to me. And my granddaughter lives with my daughter. Her daughter live with my daughter because, and I think I told you she's a pharmacy tech at Walgreens.
Yeah.
And people hear that, oh, you must be making the bucks. No. She-
Uh, no.
No. Seriously, no. But that was a nice thought.
Hmm.
Uh, but I mean, it's all okay because we stick together.
Yeah, exactly.
So
We help each other. We support each
help
other.
each other. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because what else is there, really?
right. Right. Nobody
Nothing
else
more
is
important
gonna.
than that.
Right. Exactly.
So,
Exactly. So it's
all
good.
right.
All
So
good. All good. Yeah.
we're reading this Claire's for course students. I think I have it at the right place. Do I from last
Yes,
week?
you do. That's where
Okay,
we're
good.
starting up. And are you recording? No,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
you are.
yeah, we
Okay.
are. Yeah, we are.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. So let's start with this one. It's what are the psychic abilities according to A Course in Miracles? The manual for teachers in A Course in Miracles contains a section entitled Are Psychic Powers Desirable? And it reads, each individual has many abilities of which he is unaware. As his awareness increases, he may well develop abilities that seem quite startling to him. Yet nothing he can do can compare, even in the slightest, with the glorious surprise of remembering who he is. Let all his learning and all his efforts be directed toward this one grateful final surprise, and he will not be content to be delayed by the little ones that may come to him on the way. As this paragraph states, we clearly have abilities that we aren't aware of. And as we release blocks to our awareness of the truth, our abilities may catch us by surprise. But as this section states, nothing can beat remembering the truth of who we are. Remembering the truth of who we are is our primary goal. Yet, in my experience as a student of A Course in Miracles, I've found that anything along the journey that shows me and teaches me that I do not walk alone is useful. So, understanding the clairs as pathways of guidance has only strengthened my ability to trust in the Holy Spirit. Psychic abilities come with an ego temptation, though. The ego will want to use these abilities to glorify itself and make itself special. It is imperative on this journey that we stay alert to this pitfall, keep honest tabs on the spiritual ego, and continually place the Holy Spirit in charge. When we allow our psychic abilities to be repurposed, they become means through which we can further learn that we do not walk alone. a crash course in the clairs. This brings us to the clairs. The clairs are pathways through which we receive intuitive guidance through our bodies, because the body is in the mind. As students of A Course in Miracles, we know that healing and communication are at the level of the mind. But it is easy to make the mistake of thinking that intuitive guidance arrives to us only through our heads. That's because we've unconsciously associated the mind with the head. As Course students, we know that the body is in the mind. The entire body is in the mind. So communication will come through channels that exist through the entire body. Enter in the clairs. The clairs are associated with various chakras throughout the body. They include clairvoyance, clairaudience, claircognizance, and clairsentience. These are pathways through which the Holy Spirit speaks to you. Clairvoyance and clairaudience have their home in the upper body chakras, while claircognizance and clairsentience have their home in the lower body chakras. By learning about our clairs, by learning about your clairs, you can better pay attention to them, develop them, and have an easier time learning that you do not walk alone. The Holy Spirit, angels, and guides, such as Jesus, are always speaking to you, reminding you of who you truly are. So let's dive into each clair. Anything
Yeah,
you'd
I
like
think this
to
is a
add?
good place to stop here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, because you remember last week I was saying, yeah, I'm not real sure about these chakras, and it seems like it's something kind of made up. And I contemplated it
Mm-hmm.
after, and because I was asking myself, is it possible that there's these spinning energy discs that are,
Mm-hmm.
here that I don't even experience or sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then it came really clear to me. Uh, can you imagine them? Yes. Do you imagine that you're a body? Yes. Which one of those imaginary things are real?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Neither one of them. They're all part of my imagination.
Mm-hmm.
So, are the chakras as real as the body? Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
So, I mean, if you believe in them and you imagine them, of course, they're
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they're the same, it's the same thing. They're made out of the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, why not use what I already believe in to help me see this? So, I love it. So,
Yeah.
what about you? You got any thoughts about this before we go into diving into each Claire?
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I have heard, and this is from this psychic, Sterling, uh, that he says that everybody is born with clairaudience, I believe is what he's saying. That's the one that you have from born. You're born with that.
Right.
And that's where he's talking about that every day for, I think it's 9 days, the exercise. I have not done it. I started, but I kind of forget, and then and haven't done the whole thing. So if you spend 5 minutes, that's all you need, 5 minutes, where in the beginning you ask your guides to please step in, as in come and help me, and say that you would like to communicate with them. And by doing that, and maybe grabbing a journal, book where you can write, and then just kind of close your eyes and just think, like, well, not think, just be blank and see what you hear. And you may not be hearing anything in the beginning, but as time goes by, you may start developing that audience, that clairaudience. Or maybe you can start developing the clairvoyance, or you can start developing other senses. I mean, um, I think as a child, at least for me, clairaudience, yes, but there's also the one where I could see, and I think that's clairvoyance, where you could see spirit. Um, but I think the reaction of my reaction and what we were taught about ghosts, um, really freaked me out, and I shut down from it. So I've been asking that I want to go back, and slowly but surely, um, the fear factor has diminished. It's a lot less, not completely gone, but a lot less, and more open to that. I can't say that I have seen anything recently because I have not. Um, so I think one of the other things that I heard is also I wanted to mention is fear. Um, when we live in fear, and this is something that I heard from another psychic. She's my NDE from A to Z. Her name is Vina Hill, and it's spelled Vina Hill. And she was talking about how I believe it was her. Well, doesn't matter. But anyway, what I heard was that with fear, you block yourself, which we know that fear is a constricting energy, whereas love is an expanding energy. And so the more we work on letting go of that fear, the more open we become and more receptive to listening, which it all goes with what I've heard anyway from the course that you have to, that you have to let go of fear, let go of that fear. So that's my 2 cents about this whole thing right now that we read.
Yeah, and I get that as well. Here I'm adjusting something over here on Pal Talk. I get that as well. And uh what I have practiced, because I do experience clairaudience,
Mhm.
as I do hear things.
Okay.
So what I have experienced um, or what I've practiced is just sitting and listening. Just sit and just open your ears and just listen. Um, and just listening. Uh, and I mean, you hear, dogs barking in the distance. You hear birds. You hear people. You hear cars. You hear the sounds of nature all around you. You hear all these things, and that helps me to expand my listening. As I think I've told you, I hear things that people are thinking, and I know that sounds really kind of crazy and not like something you'd want, but I do.
Not at all.
I hear
Not
things
at
that
all.
people are thinking, and I always, for some reason, I always have the idea that they are saying these things. So I think that I hear them say things,
Mhm.
and maybe they do, maybe under their breath or but I do hear and I'll be like, what was that? What do you mean by that? Or what are you saying about that? And so uh
And they're like,
uh,
I didn't say anything.
yeah. And I've done that since I was a little kid,
Yeah.
which I mean basically, I think, I don't know, maybe kept me out of a lot of trouble
Yeah.
because I would get a knowing
Mm.
of, somebody's going to do something or somebody did something or somebody's going to say something or, and I would be able to like move out of that, uh, state and out of that fear there, that when that comes to me, it does come like a ball of fear up inside of me,
Mm,
like something is going to happen.
yeah.
Something is going to happen. And you ever get that, just that feeling of just fear inside of you, like something's going to happen? It's
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you're hearing something or you're knowing something. And so, that's what I always used to say. I think I told you this, forewarned is forearmed.
Yes.
I would know, and I would be able to just, not go home, not go to the house, or I mean, because I had some, crazy family, and so sometimes, it was,
Better to stay
good,
out and
better to
not go
stay
home.
out.
Yeah. Don't go
Uh,
there
but,
yet. Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, and I don't know if that's because, and it is because because when I was a little kid, I used to like I would lay at night awake and
Mhm.
listen to hear people. I mean, I hear all kind of stuff. I
Mhm.
hear people walking around. I hear I hear people that are not even here,
Yeah.
that are not even here. I hear them,
Yeah.
or get glimpses of them, like they're here in the room with me,
Yeah.
and
Or you
I
feel
hear,
that they're there with you.
yeah,
You
yeah,
feel it.
yeah.
Yes.
But I only get that if I'm actually just being still and listening. So I think, being still and listening is a darn good thing.
Yeah.
A very, very helpful to me for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, so
Well, now that you mention that, I forgot this knowingness. Um, like ever since I don't know, I just can't. I mean, maybe since I have memory of it, I don't know what age I was. I couldn't tell you. And I'd be lying if I make something up. But I've had this feeling about knowing what the other person is feeling or how the other person is feeling. It's sort of like I can't even explain it. It's like somebody will come in and I can sense this heavy energy in them. Something like I don't know what it is. And so what I do is I tend to just stay away because it's a very heavy energy and I don't want to go in there. Like I feel like I need to give them their space. Sometimes I do ask, "Hey, are you okay? Is
yeah,
something going
yeah.
on? Are you upset? Are you mad?" Um, that could be, of course, in psychology, you would say, well, from the trauma of growing up with, being punished and or be with the tough mom. um, you kind of maybe develop some other feelings, like you have to be hyper vigilant about things. I don't think, to me, it doesn't feel that way because I can sense it from people at work. And even if, like now, I work remotely and I talk to people and I can, by the way they're talking, I know that there's something, or the way they're typing their message, there's something going on. So I'll ask. I have a cousin who lives in Costa Rica and she had been writing things. She never mentioned anything about her love life or anything like that. And I just reached out and I said, "Hey, everything okay? Are you and your husband having problems?" And she's like, "Oh my God, you're a witch." He was he was cheating on her. Basically,
Uh-huh.
they ended up getting divorced. But and hers was a um well, I guess a lot of girls experience that uh, knight in shining armor type uh, uh, storybook, or what is it called? Storybook. That they have this beautiful
Yeah, like a
story,
Cinderella
love story.
story, or
Yeah, like a beautiful love story. And I
yeah.
think that was her, very romantic girl. And everything went well for many years until he developed his his wanting of younger girls than her. So anyway, so those are the things that for me I've had aside from being able to hear. Then the other thing is that I've known, for example, I say, "Oh, they're talking about something," and I'm like, "You know what? It's okay that I don't know, and I don't need to know. And if I need to know, it'll come to me. Somebody will tell me." And so I never ask. And guess what? I always know because I always get that. I always get the full story for not everything, but most of the stuff. I'll get the full story. So it's,
Well,
yeah.
and I think that's, that's really a good thing because then that gives a person an opportunity to share it with you if
Hmm.
they want to, and you get a fuller picture because you're not just getting uh your own your own questions answered, but you're seeing, what's happening with the family, the person, the man, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah.
And you can do that without judgment or
Right.
without taking sides, which is really, I
That's
mean,
hard.
it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And I really try to do that. And what ends up happening is that for my husband always thinks I'm trying to defend people that are bad, and I'm like, I'm not trying to defend anybody. I just want to, I want to see their way. I want to. I I'm
Understand it. Yeah.
because I truly believe that people are good
Hmm.
and they're going to do the good thing.
Yeah.
So so I'm just going to look for the good answer.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Well, see, I think we all have that. It's just not everybody maybe acknowledges it.
Yeah.
I can tell you that there, and I've been looking for these writings of mine that I had. There was a period of time that was very challenging, let's just say. And I would just go to Starbucks, bring a book, and I was reading, oh my God, Scoville, I forget her first name, Scoville Shin or
Oh, Florence.
Florence. Yes,
Yes,
Florence Scovel. I
yeah, yeah.
love her writing. I just love her writing. And I was reading other people and I can't remember now, but I was really into all of that. And as I was reflecting, I was getting all kind of information, and basically I was just kept on writing and writing and writing and writing. And then I would go back and write it, and I'm like, wow, that I know that's not me. I mean, I knew that wasn't me writing,
Right.
you know, in response to what she was saying or what she was talking about, whatever it was. So yeah, there's um there's a lot to uncover there that
Yes.
hopefully this will help us all to not develop, because it sounds like developing, it's like we don't have it and we're trying to build it up. It's remembering
Yes.
remembering all of this.
Yeah. Figuring and knowing what we truly are.
Right.
Because all of these things, in reality, we are connected to everything
Yeah.
everywhere all at once. In
Hmm.
reality, we're not separated from any part of this, even the illusion. I mean, we're a part of it. So, we should, just as I'm aware of my fingers and my toes,
Hmm.
but I can't sit here and concentrate on my fingers and my toes both at the same time. I've tried that. Doesn't work that way.
Hmm.
You flip back and forth between the other because the mind of the ego can't absorb wholeness. It can only see things in parts. And so developing these clairs, I think, is really helpful in uh connecting to all the parts.
Yeah.
And not just the part that, we're living in a little box. Basically, we're living in a little box. In fact, we're just reading the Course of Miracles, the review lessons or the section that go with what is the body, and it
Mm-hmm.
says the body is a fence that you built to hold to keep love out,
Hmm.
basically, and that's what we're living in, this little fence body. And that, I mean, when I say body, I'm including the mind, I'm including
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we're living in this little fenced in place, and we have blinders on. We're not even aware that there's anything outside of this, or that we're connected to anything outside of this. But if we weren't connected to everything outside of this, we would not be able to exist. So, that total interconnection is what holds us up and keeps us going.
Hmm.
And just our ignorance of it, that we don't know it, is sad. So let's keep reading this book.
Sure,
We
sure, sure. Okay. Would you like me to continue reading
Oh,
myself?
sure, I can read. I can
Okay.
read.
Yeah.
Okay. So clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is clear seeing. It is the ability to see things beyond what the body's eyes see. This can take many forms, but typically involves the ability to see pictures, images, visions, and lights. It can be helpful to think of clairvoyance as existing on a continuum. On the one end of the continuum, clairvoyance skills may include predicting the future, seeing things from the past or present, or giving psychic readings that involve receiving pictures and images. And actually, I used to do that when I was younger. I used to do readings for people. I don't even know where
Wow.
the hell I got it from, but I could do it. People
Wow.
could come to me and I could just sit there and tell them all kinds of stuff, and they're like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I don't even know. I'm making it up. It's just coming out of my mind.
Yeah.
But I knew that it was true. I wasn't faking people out.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just I didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
And I read tarot cards. I know we've talked about the different
Hmm.
cards and stuff,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that all that is reading tarot cards is just clairvoyance.
Yeah.
That really is all it is just looking and seeing,
Hmm.
oh, this is what this means. And if you just do it by the book,
Hmm.
which, there's books that say this card means this, and if you turn it upside down, it means that. And I don't even go by that book, because when I first learned it, it was taught to me by two ladies who had come to Colorado from San Francisco, and they were witches for sure. At the time,
Hmm.
I just knew they were witches, and they lived with a man. There was three of them, and uh, first time I ever met them, I was walking down this was in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. I was walking down the street, and it's winter time, very cold, but I used to go out and walk all the time. Very cold. And I heard coming from this little house uh, some music that I really liked. I was like, this is really good music. And so I was like very bold. I was like 16. I left home when I was 16 and went up there. And so I was 16 years old. Like, I walked right up there, knocked on the door. They opened the door, and this girl, um, she looked at me, she goes, "Oh, hello. We've been waiting for you." And I came in, and they asked me to sit down at the table, introduced me, brought me a cup of tea and a deck of tarot cards. And they started teaching me how to read tarot. I'm not kidding. This is
Wow.
not a story. This is what actually happened.
Wow.
They started teaching me how to read tarot cards.
Wow.
I had never had or seen them before in my life.
Wow.
And so that's really where, I mean, I came to really understand, that I could read things, I could see things. And so I learned how to read tarot cards. I learned how to read tea leaves. I learned how to read regular playing cards, a deck of regular playing cards. Basically anything you could look at and get the pictures of what it was. And so yeah, so that was something that was, from the time I was, 16 till probably, I don't know, into my 20s, I guess, when I had kids, and my kids started getting older and stuff, and I kind of stepped away from that fancy stuff. But I mean, I could do it now. You can do it anytime, because it just is ingrained in you. and I still have my cards, and in fact, I got a deck of those cards from the Golden
The
Future.
golden future. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a deck of those cards as well, which are really beautiful and very cool.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I don't do it. I don't advertise it, and
Mm-hmm.
if somebody asked me, I would, but not necessarily,
Mm-hmm.
at this point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So giving psychic readings, yep, I did it. On the other end of the continuum, simply using your imagination as a building block of clairvoyance. Oh, simply using your imagination is a building block of clairvoyance. When you practice seeing pictures in your mind, even if you conjure them up yourself, you are exercising the ability to see things in your mind. If you're good at seeing the big picture of systems and organizations, this is also tapping into the building blocks of clairvoyance.
Mm-hmm.
Clairvoyance is not just about visions, it is the ability to be visionary.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
crazy. You
yeah,
know
and I,
what happens? Maybe this is part of it. I don't know, and I'll share it and see what you think.
true.
But I've had this thing where, let's just say that, keeping it simple. For example, we're sitting at a table. There's um, a glass of water or whatever, and it's not children. Children, well, yeah, you have to watch, where you put things, because they move and they do all kinds of stuff that things can fall. But adults, and I've had this thing where, and this is just the simplest thing, where they put a glass somewhere and I can just see how that glass is going to fall. It's going to fall off the table, or it's going to tip over, or so I just move it. I move the glass. Um, and
Yes.
then with that, other things like, I don't know. Oh my goodness. If we're like cooking, for example, I'll be chopping something and then I leave the knife in a certain way. And then I have the thought that that knife, if I leave it there, this can happen. So then I relocate it to a safer place. So I have these visions in my mind where I can see what could happen. And I've always said, I think I need to work for an insurance company, because I would go in and I can tell you, oh, that's wrong. You shouldn't have that there, because that can fall. You hit somebody in their head. You need to make sure that that's all these different things. And that I use that at work as well, when I was physically in a pharmacy, um, where, yeah, I just imagine, I don't know, I can say imagine, but I
Yeah.
could see things like, well, if you do that, this can happen. So it not only happens with those things, but also with when it comes to relationships, or some, if you're open, right? Because if you are angry or if you're in fear, you may not be able to see ahead. You're focused in that moment and you're closed down. So I need to say that first,
Yes. Yes.
um, that yes, you are able to say, oh, this is how I'm feeling. This is what happened. You know what? If I say something, this is what's going to trigger this, and da 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 da. Okay, I'm going to leave it alone. And then I leave it alone. And I'm fine with that. Right. So that's interesting to see it in your mind's eye. I feel like I feel validated.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's true. I mean, that's because we know that. We know what's going to happen because we wrote it. We made it
Mhm.
up. So I think it's just a reaching into the mind that made the illusion and connecting to it
Yeah.
and connecting to the fact that there's nothing outside of me. That's what the
Yeah.
course says.
Yeah. I
There's
believe
nothing
that.
outside of you. That's what you have to really figure out.
Yep.
So
Nothing. Okay.
yeah. I believe it. I believe. All right, clairvoyance and A Course in Miracles. In A Course in Miracles, oh, I love this. There is a direct reference to the clairvoyant experience of seeing, quote, edges of light, unquote, around, quote, familiar objects, unquote. And that's in workbook 15. And it says, as we go along, you may have many, quote, light episodes, unquote. They may take many different forms. Some of them are quite unexpected. Do not be afraid of them. They are signs that you are opening your eyes at last. And I mean, this is on lesson 15,
Yeah,
which is like really early. I mean, if you
really
just
early
started
on.
taking a course January 15th, all of a sudden you're being told you're going to be able to see edges of light around things.
Yeah,
And people do, you
yeah.
know, that. So. Yeah. So, in addition, the scribe of A Course in Miracles, Helen Schuckman, experienced powerful visions in the years prior to scribing the course. And these are examples of clairvoyance. For example, Helen had multiple inner visions of a priestess from a past life. And this is from Absence from Felicity, which is a book that Bruce Rawls and I are reading on Saturday mornings. And it's fascinating to read about all these different visions that Helen had. She also had an experience on the New York City subway of a light welling up within her mind while her eyes were closed, from which she felt, quote, indescribably intense love, unquote, and simultaneously saw a vision of herself at home in this love. Even after opening her eyes, Helen saw the light last an instant longer as she loved everyone on the subway, despite initially finding the hot and crowded subway revolting. You can and yeah,
Mhm.
and I when you read about that, she's like she was disgusted by what she saw in that the way people were and everything on the subway. But when this thing happened to her, all of a sudden she was just in love with everybody and saw everything as being just light and love and even, just it is an amazing story. So, that's why, when people say, "Oh, well, psychic things are not real." Well, how the heck do you think we got this course?
Mhm.
Anyway, uh, Helen also described her clairvoyant experience of seeing a church before she went on a trip to the Mayo Clinic. Helen writes, the evening before we left, a picture crossed my mind that was so sharp I felt impelled to describe it in writing. It was a picture of a church, the details of which stood out with startling clarity. I was uncertain of its denomination at first, but finally settled on Lutheran. I seemed to be looking down on it from above at an angle which I might be seeing it from a low-flying plane. The picture was so sharp that I abandoned caution entirely and told Bill I was sure we would see the building when we landed in Rochester, Minnesota the next day.
Yeah.
So yeah, so she's all excited about this church. And it turned out, and it's a long story because they drive all over the place looking for this dang church and and never find it. And then she finally
Oh,
finds it in a book. But so it turns out that the church Helen saw was no longer standing.
wow.
But while they were visiting the Mayo Clinic, Bill discovered through a guidebook that the Mayo Clinic had been built on the top of the church's former site, the exact church that Helen saw clairvoyantly. Helen's experience is a form of, quote, remote viewing, unquote, which is mentioned below. And also, I think she maybe had a memory from a past life, is what I'm thinking. If she,
She's able to see it so clearly.
yeah, I think she may have been there before.
Yeah.
So, while Helen's experiences are remarkable, yes, they are not special.
Mm.
You have the same ability to experience things clairvoyantly as did Helen. While you might not see crystal clear pictures, there are many other indicators that you have clairvoyant abilities. And I'm thinking about when I was a little kid and my stepdad was from Kansas.
Mhm.
And so we drove over to Kansas to go and visit his family.
Yeah.
And as we're driving along, I'm looking and I go, oh, there's going to be a corner here. We're going to go around the corner and there's going to be a covered bridge and there's going
Mm.
to be a little farmhouse over there. And, I had this whole picture in my mind. I'm
Wow.
telling them this is what we're going to see. And sure enough, we came around and there was the scene right as from like I looked at it as a picture, and my mom was really freaked out because I had never been there before.
Bless
So
you.
She was, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
all,
you're fine.
I'm
I
having
didn't hear it,
allergies.
but I thought, oh, maybe she sneezed.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Wow.
having allergies. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, no, you're fine. You don't have to apologize.
So, so yeah. Um,
Wow.
I've that was
Impressive.
when I was a little kid, and I
Mhm.
don't even know. At the time I didn't think a big deal about it, but they did. So
Mhm.
when we got to the family's house, they were telling him, oh, she saw this and she knew. I'm like, well, I don't know anything about that, but leave me alone.
I don't know what you're talking about. All I saw was the picture in my head.
Yep, don't talk to me. I'm going, I'm going to read a book or something.
Leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Oh, yeah. That's
Uh,
crazy. That's
so do you want to read? We have about 8 more minutes.
sure. I'll read. Um, I was thinking of the many things, like, for example, we lived at a little cottage in Oakland next to my parents' house that was built by my grandmother's on my dad's side's family. They had a construction company and they were but it was built by them because it was for one of them. And they lived the entire street was them, the Bold family. And anyway, so I remember being in that house and I could sense, somebody's there, somebody's there. And I saw this nun, and I saw how she was dressed. But it was it's one of those quick visions. It's not like she stands there and she's reaching her arms and she's coming to you. No, 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 no. It was just like a very fast thing where I was able to capture it in my mind. And so I asked my dad, I said, hey, was there a nun living in that house? He's like, I have no clue. I don't know. But we had a lot of nuns in the family. So who knows? Maybe it was one of those. Then we decided to ask my Aunt Rita, who lived next door to me. See, we were still the three amigos there and my grandpa up the street. But anyway, so we asked my Aunt Rita, and she goes, oh, yeah. So there was this tenant on their house, and he had a sister, and his sister would come, and she was a nun, and she would always come and visit her brother there. I was like, oh, and I described, and she says, yeah, that's what she looked like. I couldn't see
Wow.
her face, but I knew her habit. Is
Yeah.
it habit? Yeah, is it habit?
Her
You
habit.
call it habit or yeah,
Habit. Yeah. They
yes,
call
her
that a
habit.
habit. Yes.
Yes. So that's what I saw, the habit. So
That's pretty
yeah,
cool. That's pretty
that
cool.
was pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
that's all I got from that. I mean, that's it.
Yeah. Oh,
That's all,
oh,
folks.
did I ever tell you the story about when my mom we moved up to Greeley, Colorado, and we moved into this house. It was on a corner, and there were some houses a little bit away from us, but right next to the house was a big parking lot and a mortuary was
Mhm.
there, right? This has nothing to do with the mortuary, but I'm
Mhm.
sure there might have been. But anyway, there's a big parking lot for the
Mhm.
mortuary and everything. So so one night my mom she woke up and there was a man, an old elderly man,
Mhm.
and he was in her room and she's like, who are you? And they started. It was obviously a spirit, and he sat down on her bed and started telling her the story about, this used to be my wife and I. We had this orchard. All this over here was apple trees, and he had this whole description of everything, how they had lived and their children and all that business. And so. My mom, the next day she was telling us all about it. So what we did, we went downtown. Well, first we went to my sister worked at the city at the county courthouse in the records department where they kept all the records of all the houses and things that have been built there, whatever. And so we went there and she was able to pull up the records of this family and this orchard and that whole property, everything just as the man had told.
Mhm.
And then we went to the local newspaper and looked through their archives. Or no, we didn't go to the newspaper, we went to the library and
Mhm.
looked through the archives of the newspaper from the microfiche there
Mhm.
and found articles about the family and the woman when she passed away and the man when she and there was a picture of the man
Oh, wow.
in one of these old newspaper articles from, like the early 1900s. And it was the man that had came and talked to my mom.
Wow.
So yeah, that was pretty bizarre. And uh she didn't mind it. I mean,
That's
she
good that
she
she
was
wasn't
very
afraid.
open-minded. Yeah.
Guess she's not afraid. That's good.
Yeah. That's crazy though, huh?
Yeah. So I wonder, if she, well, not, I don't wonder. I did want to say something. It's that they say, you know how people say, oh, they're trapped and they're this and they're attached to the earth and da da da. Well, what they say now, or I heard, is that they're not. They're free to go, come and go. They just like to sometimes visit the places where they were at, or they were happy, or whatever it is that they were experiencing. They're fond of that area, and they go back. They go back and visit. And she just had that ability of seeing him, and he found the opportunity to, hey, let me tell you all about it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
So that was
yes.
fun.
Yeah, yeah. So uh that's why, I don't worry about death or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's, there's a continuum here. So
Right.
all right, let's
Well,
see. Oh gosh, our time is almost up. But uh
well,
uh
I want to say that we lost a cousin this Wednesday. She passed away. She was battling cancer. Um, and I do believe that when you go, it's your time. You're not going to exit this world unless it's your time to go. Wonderful person. Her name is Marietta. Is Marietta, not was, is, because she's still around. I know, and just wanted to bring that up because um, I just have a lot of fond memories about her, and that I know um, that she's okay,
yeah, yeah.
and that for her family, my cousin across the street, that's her sister-in-law. Um, but we had the opportunity of having them stay with us while my other cousin, about 2 years ago, he all of a sudden was diagnosed with brain cancer and was terminal. So they were all coming here and they stayed with us for a week or two. I can't remember now. And then again for the funeral, they stayed again with us another week. Um, so we got to know each other really well at that point. Out of 52 cousins, I think that I have, I don't know them all, and nor do I have the desire to know them all. Only if I have the opportunity, and if it happens, then we meet, and that's lovely. But I had the opportunity to be close to them, and they're 82, both of them. They're 82-year-olds.
Wow.
Yeah, so just a heavy loss because I wasn't expecting that. She was a strong woman, Italian. Oh, Italian, not from born in Italy, but her mother, I think, or father was born in Italy, something like that. Um, and very fun and colorful lady. Talking to her, it was just adorable.
Um,
I just wanted to dedicate this to her. Um, that will always keep her in our hearts and love. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, but I felt like it was fitting.
that's beautiful. Thank you, Zita, for that because yeah, that's a fitting and beautiful way to end this today. So thank you so much. And thank you, Jorge, for being here with us. Love you, brother. And uh, go
Well,
on, go forth and have a beautiful Sunday.
thank you. You too. Love you.
Love you guys.
Okay.
Bye.
See you.